Hi, Shannon Grimm with Shannon Grimm and Partners at Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Today I'm joined with our special guest, Tom Lade from Cross Country Mortgage.
Woo!
And of course, as always, I like to have Mike Stanley on because he's entertaining all on his own. And then we have Jake Brenneman. Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to find out a little more about what Tom does. So tell us what kind of makes your company stand out. Like, what are some of the things that you guys do that makes you a little bit different?
Yeah, well, Shannon, thanks for having me on, first of all. At Cross Country, we're one of the largest retail mortgage lenders in the country. We're headquartered out of Cleveland. And one nice thing that we're empowered to do is give the customer, agents like yourself, all the information that you need in order to make informed decisions about buying the largest, purchase of your life. Yeah. So, we've got a lot of different products, the different tools in order to help a lot of different types of people, not just kind of your normal W-2 employee, self-employed customers.
Okay, so you do self-employed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone is self-employed, what would you need to see from them?
So I'd always start with tax returns. That would allow us to go with conventional or an FHA loan. That's going to give you the best loan terms and pricing and things like that. But as you probably know from being a real estate agent, if you got a really good CPA, sometimes you're writing off a lot of deductions and things like that.
I am technically an employee of my own company.
Are you?
So I'm a W-2 employee.
All right. Well, it's a little different for you then, but.
So yes, I try to do things. So it makes sense, so that if anything ever were to happen, I'd actually have income that I can show and verify, and it's fairly consistent and
that makes it easy.
Which a real estate agent should really consider. And if you have any questions about that, give me a call.
But for the rest of us.
For the rest of us. Or, if you have your own snowplow company, which we'll probably be having used here soon, yeah. You might write off a lot of deductions, so that's really good for taxes, not so good for mortgage approval. So, we've got a product like a bank statement loan where we throw the tax returns out. We take a look at 12 or 24 months of your bank statements and then come up with a qualifying income based on that.
That is beneficial.
Absolutely.
So
That's
we
awesome.
had someone who fairly recently was looking for, based on what they make like $300,000 a year, so they wanted a $600,000 home.
Makes sense.
But their income shows they make $30,000 a year.
Yeah. For about 8 years, I worked for a large bank around here. And like this type of customer, I'll be doing this like a bank statement program for them. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, my old job, I would have said, hey, you make a lot of money, but I can't help you.
Right.
So.
No, so that's really good to know. So that'll be a beneficial product for us. So what we like is we don't just refer to one lender. We try to go with lenders that we know have specific products that will fit specific needs. So not every buyer fits in the same pigeonhole as the next.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone has unique circumstances. So
Yeah.
Pigeonhole. I did not see you going there with the pigeonhole, by the way.
I don't even know what a pigeonhole is. Do pigeons make holes? I don't know. It's a pigeon.
I think it was like mail room, like you put it like the little boxes you put the mail in.
Oh, that a pigeonhole?
I think so.
Tom dropping some knowledge today.
Seriously, that's like something my husband would do to me. Like, what?
Mr. Lade, he's crushing it today.
I prepared.
I guess you prepared for our non-scripted conversation.
But no, that
freaks
is
a lot of people out, by the way, the non-scripted.
I know it does.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's huge, though, to be able to
It is.
Yeah.
to work with people that way, because we run into it all the time.
Because they got enough money coming in.
Exactly. Same thing. We've got a 1099 program where it's similar. We throw the taxes out. We take a look at the 2 years of 1099s and just take 90% of what's listed on the 1099. So just simplifying.
Well, because it's not like you're
process.
approving them for 90% of it. So,
Right.
You're still approving them for the standard ratios, I would assume.
Correct.
So
Yes.
that way they're not getting in over their head.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
that's
And
good.
I don't want to do that. that's
No one
that's
wants
a
that,
conversation I have up front.
Yeah,
you
no
know.
one wants that again.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, because we're having to start to get creative again with the financing, especially with the higher interest rates. So
Yep.
I remember back when we were, my first go around with the creative financing, when people were doing the 3-2-1 buy downs and that sort of thing. It's like, look, you're going to get hammered your third year. So, if this is what you insist on doing, then you need to pay yourself every month like you're making that third-year payment.
Right.
Because I didn't want to see anyone lose their house because I didn't want that on my conscience.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with the higher interest rates, those conversations are coming back.
they're coming
right?
back, yeah.
So, like.
And that lady's still in her house. So, and that was from
Is she?
'05, I think. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So she hopefully listened. She's still there, so it's a good sign.
Good.
But I like to sleep good at night, so I don't want to get people in over their head.
No. I mean, I have a conversation like, hey, what payment are you comfortable with?
Right.
And then if you find the perfect house, can you stretch that a little bit, or how do you look with that? And then I work kind of backwards to come up with the purchase price. Because I don't. Even if I could get you approved for more,
Right.
if you're not comfortable with for more, then what are we
Right.
doing?
Well, and that's good. So, because the no doc loans do get interesting. So
Yeah,
as
they
long
do
as
get
you're still taking precautions to make sure that they're safeguarded, that's a cool product to have.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
For
people
sure.
do make a lot of money, but they write it all off, and I can't really blame them for that. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the conversation about comfortable with what
Right.
payment. That's the big thing. And people will come to me with pre-approvals all the time. And right now it's getting hairy. I'm like, 2 weeks have gone by. We need a new pre-approval because I have no idea if this is still good. Like it's just changing so much, and it was never that way before for a while now. And a lot of people are like, "Well, I'm a pre-approved for 400. Why are we not looking at this house?" Well, taxes are $8,000 a year on that house, and we need to be looking more at monthly
16.
payment. Or that's a condo. There's $400 HOA fee. Like, it's not going to qualify. And so that's why I appreciate when someone like yourself has a conversation about what monthly payment are you comfortable with, and here's technically what you can qualify for, because it kind of opens people's eyes instead of just that set
Yeah.
number price on a pre-approval.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of lenders will kind of tell you, oh, this is what you qualify for, so this is what you look at, kind of deal, without, digging in and finding out what they're really comfortable with. And then so that's how people get in over their head, because they become what we call house poor. And you never want to be house poor. So,
Yeah.
because as we were talking before off camera, we like to do fun things like cruise. So
Me
you
too.
need money for that. So,
Absolutely.
So you also do jumbo loans, though, before we get into cruising. We'll come back to that.
Yes, absolutely.
But so you also do jumbo loans?
Yeah, I mean, we do literally any loan other than like auto or personal.
Yeah. But what do you think you really focus on? Like, what is your niche?
So, well, the non-QMs, non-qualified mortgages, like that bank statement loan, I think that's one thing that sets us apart. Me personally, I've really started digging in on down payment assistance.
Okay.
I mean,
That's going to be big, too, going forward.
absolutely. Every first-time home buyer I talk to, they might have enough for the down payment, but they might not have enough for closing costs, prepaid items, things like that. Well, not every, most, but
Yeah.
so the down payment assistance programs, especially here in Ohio, it helps them bridge that gap to get them into a house now to enjoy appreciation, paying down the loan, depreciation, all the benefits of home buying.
Now, so there are a lot of things going on throughout the country as far as lawsuits about how commission gets paid, that sort of thing.
Just updated this morning.
Yeah, so the big thing that people are afraid of is that, you do get these first-time home buyers. Like, I've been pretty lucky and have had first-time buyers that qualify for a $650,000 home and have a ton of money saved. But not every buyer is like that, and we don't want to get to a point where people just can't afford to buy, and we become more of, you have to rent than actually, chase that American dream of owning a home. So have you as like a loan officer, have you and your company talked about, what should the mortgage industry try to do as far as how we can help those buyers, or have we heard anything about? I haven't really heard much. So
Yeah, I don't want to
Like-
talk for the company, but
right. I mean,
I
have you just heard anything in general too, not even from your company, but just
I mean,
what
I
the
think
mortgage industry might try to do to help?
I mean, there has to be some kind of
There has
changes,
to be.
right? So like,
Yeah.
if the seller's not going to be paying for the buyer's agent commission, which, we could argue,
It's financed by the buyer.
yeah, right. So yeah, you could finance the buyer, so maybe like loan to value or down payment requirements will change. But again, going back to that first time home buyer, if they don't have enough money to even bring to closing, they don't have an extra 3% to, pay for the buyer's agent services. So, yeah, I mean, the housing market is so important to the country.
It is. So, and, everyone, like, you hear a lot of the fear talk, like, oh, we're going to become a rental society. I don't think we get there because I think, 60% of our income is derived from the housing industry. So I don't think you can get there. So.
Yeah. I mean, guidelines with Fannie, Freddie, FHA, those might change to where, they allow you to finance in that.
Which you kind of already are.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, you can look at it multiple ways, but, my understanding from these lawsuits, too, is the National Association of Realtors, it didn't really sound like that they were putting forth everything they could have to really explain it. So $1.78 billion on the first lawsuit.
That's with a B.
Yeah. So the next one, I think, is $30 billion with a B.
It's crazy.
So we'll see how that goes. But it's going to change both of our industries for sure.
Absolutely.
So, but it is what it is.
If you don't change, you get left behind, right?
You do.
It's true.
The cream rises to the top. So, there's 10,000 agents in town. That's about to change.
That makes me think of Macho Man Randy Savage.
I used to watch Macho Man Randy Savage.
Love him.
Grew up watching all those guys. So Hulk Hogan and all that stuff.
Yep.
So that was fun times.
I was a Jake the Snake guy back
Yes,
in the day.
Jake the Snake. We used to call him Jake from State Farm.
I got called that at the BNI meeting this morning.
Yeah.
Somebody was like,
Jake from State Farm?
"Yep." They asked if I ever heard that. I was like, "Yep."
Gee, only every 5 minutes at the office when I joined them.
I was like, first off, you have no idea. Second of all, that was my name for the first 3 months when I started here.
At least 3 months.
There is an agent in Columbus here with State Farm, and his name's Jake. So
That's fine.
Well, that's the last thing I would ever do.
Especially now.
I would do so many things besides that.
So let me ask you, what does the pre-approval process look like for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, during COVID, we all kind of got comfortable doing online stuff or Zoom stuff. So, I mean, me personally, right, as comfortable as you
Forced.
could.
Some of us.
So, like me personally, I've been trying to get people into my office or, hey, let's meet at Starbucks, wherever you're comfortable. But, I mean, a lot of people just don't want to do that. So, I'll try to do a phone call, pre-approval process, or some people just want to do it online. So I send a link. So, it's whatever they're comfortable with. We go through the application.
Yeah, we get a lot of people who don't want to do the online, which...
I was going to say, I
it.
feel like it's a 50-50. Some
50-50
people are like,
now.
I don't want to talk to anybody. Let's get this done. Other people are
That'd
like,
be my
I would
husband.
love
Yeah.
to meet somebody. That way I know who's helping me and who is basically helping me get this house.
Well,
with
and
this
know
loan.
that they're local. They're not just someone
Correct.
behind a computer throwing numbers at
Yep.
the wall seeing what sticks.
And that they can trust you. That's huge.
Yeah.
And some people don't want to scan documents or they have paper stuff and they're like, I just want to
just bring it.
to
They
somebody.
don't know how to scan it. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, like we've had lenders go pick up stuff from people before, and then scan it, and then take it back, and then so.
So I
Yeah.
Just is what it
appreciate
is.
that
Yeah.
person-to-person interaction because
Yeah.
there are a chunk of people that still they need it. Like they cannot physically do the online.
Yeah, they're not good with
application.
computer
Right.
stuff. So,
Or
yeah.
they like to know that at least you're an actual person, and we know you, we've met you, and you're in Central Ohio, so
Yep.
you know the market too here.
Yep.
Exactly.
And there can be so much miscommunication over the phone.
Oh yeah, or via text or email.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. That's just in person. Everything is better to say in person.
Yes.
You can understand everything.
Yes.
I've got a whiteboard. I write on the whiteboard.
There you go. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I try to go in person every single time, and even if they do it online, I'll call them up, go over all the information. I send a loan summary that lists out estimated mortgage payments, cash to a closing, because some people just don't know that, and they're searching for a house and they have no idea that
They're gonna-
how much.
But the
Any of this
initial
is-
CD is literally to scare the crap out of people. Because you have to disclose absolutely every fee possibly known to man, even though they won't be charged those. Right? Is that the initial estimate or the CD? It's one of those that scares the crap out of people.
I mean, I on my loan summary it lists out like all the estimated
Yeah.
title fees,
Yeah. That's the one that
prepaid
scares
interest,
the crap out of everyone.
which is why I try to go over it. But
Yeah.
if you, again, you're buying your largest purchase of your lifetime, probably, you know, you have to at least be aware of these items.
Well, we've had lenders when, you know, a buyer comes to us and they already have someone that they're going with or whatever, and then the lender just emails stuff to them and doesn't explain any of it, and then they're like, oh my God, what is this? And they freak out and they're like, I can't do this, and it's like, wait, no, that's the freak out page. That's not the.
So last September, I had a deal come to me. The lender that they were working with declined the loan. So she came to me, and it was like they were 2 weeks into the process. And I was like, all right, hey, can you just send me your bank statements for where your down payment's coming from? And she sent it to me. I'm like, all right, where's the rest of it coming from? She's like, what do you mean the rest? This is the 3.5% down payment. I was like, well, closing costs and all that stuff. She had no idea, and she was in process for over 2 weeks with this other lender.
Oh my goodness.
So like, I never want to be that other lender.
Yeah, and that's why like we really try to get people to use people at least that we know, because we don't want them to go to a lender that, you know, maybe they're in contract on something and they don't find out until like the week before closing that they need like all this money, or that the condo is non-mortgable, and now instead of 5% down they need 20% down. So that's why we like people to do as much of the legwork up front, the lenders to do as much of that legwork up front, so there's no surprises during the process.
Right.
And people don't realize, they just think that all loan officers are the same and all banks and lending and companies are the same, and you don't get the same.
No.
So they're all completely different.
100% different.
Having worked in a call center for most of my career,
Oh, yeah,
I could tell you it's different.
I know where you were at then.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody
you?
leaves there happy. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yep.
We won't say it, but I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, there's a vast difference between that and this.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So no, we appreciate you going the extra effort. So that helps throughout the process.
Absolutely. If you don't know, and you can't be comfortable if you don't know. So.
Right. Well, and no one wants to shock through the biggest purchase of their life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, what were you gonna say?
Nothing. Are we gonna circumnavigate back to cruises?
I was just about to say another large purchase that you could make would be a Viking cruise, for example. Would be another large purchase, and your wife could help with that, right?
She is a travel agent around
So
here.
she is a travel agent. So
Yeah.
who does she work for?
Dream Vacations.
Dream Vacations. Where are they located?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, do they
She
have
works
a
from
physical
home.
office? Okay, she works from home.
Yeah, she works
Okay.
from home with her friend. Her friend lives in Cleveland, and they
Okay.
kind of team up to kind of help each other out. So they got
That's
2
pretty
points of
cool.
contact.
So, and where are you going on Saturday?
I'm going down to Fort Lauderdale.
To pop on a cruise ship.
Yep, we're going to Carnival.
Yep. So, but you are like me, you like Royal Caribbean. My husband
I do like
prefers
Royal.
Disney, and we have no children. Just as a he loves Disney, and we have no kids.
Steve is the child.
I know.
That sounds like me.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it.
But you know I'm the child, right?
That's true.
So yes.
I'll be pushing kids out of the way going down the water side.
Oh, of course, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but I like knowing that where I'm staying is nice and clean. So Disney is very clean. So I do like Disney World and Disneyland and Disney cruises. But the Royal Caribbean, I kind of learned how to work that system and get the amounts of cruises
Perks
that
and
we've had
things.
up, and learned how to get free internet and 2 devices so I can write contracts and stuff like that. So learned how to work that, but I'm sure you get great benefits and stuff too.
Yeah, I've got the internet. I'm looking forward to the chocolate molten lava cakes with Carnival.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. See, we've never been on a carnival.
You got to go at least for the molten lava cake.
I just got a
Okay.
flashback to that because the one cruise that I've been on was a Carnival cruise, and that, yes.
I've not known about this molten lava cake. I just assumed that Carnival was like a big booze cruise, and I don't drink, so.
So my buddy and I, we bought a molten lava cake T-shirt to wear onto the cruise ship.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're
So-
pretty excited.
So now your wife is getting this cruise from being part of the travel agency, right?
Yeah, it's
So
like
that's
their
pretty
national
cool.
sales conference. So she'll be
That's
in
pretty
meetings all
cool.
day with her friend.
So I should really
just be sitting.
rethink careers.
I mean, you could be a part-time travel agent.
Yes, because I'm trying to teach the teenager that we have, he's not really mine, but we still have him, that he needs to work where I can get a benefit. So I'm trying to get him to go in with Delta, like maybe
Oh,
throw
yeah.
some bags around, eventually become a flight attendant. Then I could get the free flights, and then if I work part-time for a cruise, not cruise, but a travel agency, maybe get some discount on cruises, and we're set.
And then you could write off your vacations and then come to me for the bank statement loan.
So I've thought
Oh,
about
look at that.
Yeah, and I've thought
Nice
about
work.
doing cruising vlogs so that I could write that off and make that into a business.
I'll
But
tell you,
that
you're gonna
sounds
get-
much better.
I
I'm not
know
a
those
tax
10
advisor,
views you
but
get on
that
do
sounds
that.
much better. What?
So those 10 views you're gonna get on those travel vlogs are, woo.
Hey, I look at a lot of travel blogs because I want to see what my actual room is going to look like. So and there's a lot of those guys who will go in and do videos of every single room.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But
I want to
so-
hear about the more about the molten lava cake.
Yes.
The chocolate lava cake. Are we getting this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Like, is this just a?
Is that like
Is,
the
is,
carnival
is it
way?
always available?
I believe it's just a dinner thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it comes in a little souffle cup and it just oozes the chocolate. It's fantastic.
Huh?
So every dinner?
Never knew.
Every day. Yeah.
The ice cream buffet is open 24/7.
Ice cream buffet. No one mentioned ice cream buffet.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we gone on a carnival
I don't
cruise? We
know.
tried to do a team cruise, but then they all wiped out on me.
Oh, you got to do that.
Because we'd have
We'll
fun.
see.
We're like a little family anyways. We'd
We'll
have
see.
fun.
Yes,
If I can get rid of
he
my
has 3
kids for a few
kids.
days,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
It's like we can just do a 3-day cruise to the Caribbean. It'd be a really fun time.
I know.
My kids love the kids club. Like they'll just go and just hang out for hours
We
at the
could
kids
never
club.
get the teenager, even when he was like, so his first cruise was at 10. So, because that's when I got up enough nerve to go on a cruise ship, and so did my husband. And we told him at 7, okay, when you're 10, we'll go on a cruise, thinking he won't want to, but he totally did. But he never wanted to go to those kids club things.
I hear they're
I
awesome.
tried to talk him into it last time.
Yeah, he never goes.
I was like, I'll tell him what to say to the ladies and everything.
Yeah,
I
you
kind of
know,
want to check it out if we go on one soon. The kids club, I hear
The
they're
kids
cool.
clubs
Yeah.
are really, like, they're really cool. They do a lot of activities with them, and people are always like, "Oh, there's too many kids on cruise." You never see them. Like when we're at on Royal Caribbean, when we were at dinner, like we had like the whole area to ourselves. There's no one even there, and then most of the time for dinner, the kids aren't even at dinner because they're still at the kids club.
Yeah. They
'Cause
do
you
like
get
arts and
free room
crafts.
service as long as you have a suite. So, and that's all the kid wants is the free room service. That's all he does. Him and the husband. The husband orders cookies and coffee at night. And the kid orders a
Yeah,
pizza.
you're just saying good things right now.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make them sound negative.
They're
I'm
coming
really-
off
I'm
as
confused
complaints.
by it. Yeah.
And that's another reason we get the suite too, so that they can be out there eating their crap while I'm asleep. But
I mean, you can do that, so why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's
So
the whole
where-
reason to be there.
where is this business trip to for your wife?
So we're going to. So Carnival has like their own private island,
Yes,
kind of like
which I
Royal.
Royals and Disney's.
Yep. And then we're
But
going.
Royals has a freshwater pool, which I love.
I love Coco Cay.
Yes,
Coco Cay.
that's
is
my
awesome.
favorite because the freshwater pool. It's where I hang out.
And then we're going to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Never been.
Me neither.
Okay.
But
Very cool.
another travel agent on the cruise ships lined up a walking food tour with the like Puerto Rican Department of Visitation or
Cool.
tourism or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and after trick or treat with like an inch of snow, who wouldn't be looking forward to leaving to go there?
It was cold.
Yes.
It was cold.
Yeah. Well, really cold though. So it's
still
cool she
snow
gets
on
to
the
do that, and I am interested in a part-time job. I
Well,
do need a discount.
maybe we'll get a conversation going.
Yeah.
Get Jonathan working.
Get Jonathan working there. I'm serious about the Delta thing though. I need
Yeah.
him working at Delta, and they say that as soon as I can get him in, Delta's all about the seniority. So if I can get him slinging bags at 16,
Mhm.
work his way up.
And he's flying at 22.
21. Yeah,
21?
21.
21?
Yep. I checked all that out. I talked to the flight attendant the whole way.
I'm just.
I know
I
she's
just-
telling the truth, though. That's the thing.
I did. I talked to
She's definitely talked to the people about Jonathan.
I totally did.
He's not your son, so I guess this conversation's okay. I feel like the Department of Children's Services is about to be called. It's like child labor laws and
No,
what's
he was
that?
16 and
I
sling
get it,
bags.
I
I
get
need a
it.
discount. I told him, like, even his trip to Boston, I'm like, do you realize I could take you, your mother, and my husband all on a weekend cruise for the same cost it takes to take you to Boston?
Oh, because he's the only one that likes Boston, right?
I do kind of use him as my excuse to go there. And Steve gave me the idea of an official college visit in Boston for him.
That's genius.
I know.
I like it.
He's a few years away from college.
So next year,
Can-
I'm going to get him in Columbus State next year. Was a junior in high school?
That's smart.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish. Gosh, our conversation's going all over the place today.
Sorry, this happens with us.
No, I just wish.
Squirrel.
I wish when I was in high school, because senior year you could take a couple courses or take AP courses and get them as college credit, and so I had a couple college credits when I started. But now, by your junior year, you can just take full on courses at Columbus State or Ohio State. It's like,
And I think he'll be
I'm
more
already
interested in that.
2 years into my degree when I graduate,
'Cause he's
and so
so
you can
bored
either
in high
graduate
school.
quicker or take less classes each semester to lessen your load. That way you are doing better in those classes and can enjoy things more.
Well, and he's like, well, you know, I'm like, you need to work on your grades. I'm like, you can't know all these sports stats and stuff and still not be able to do well in school.
Yes, he can.
He's like, well, that's different. That's not as much stuff. I'm like, but you know who's coming out of high school football, who's at college football, every school, you know, pro hockey, pro basketball, pro football. There's a lot of stuff you remember there. Why can't you do that in school?
Sounds like a little mini Todd McShay.
So
Little,
I'm like,
little
I like it.
NFL scouting guy.
I'm like, well, I know, and I tried to get him interested in that, and I'm trying.
Get him into statistics and journalism, then he could be.
Yeah, be like a blogger.
So that is, now he would love that, because he wanted to be YouTube famous, but I'm like, you do know you actually have to make a YouTube video, right?
My 7-year-old, he wants to be a YouTuber when he grows
started
up.
at 7 when he...
And I told him, I'm like, you probably have a better percentage chance to be like a professional athlete than make money being a
And he also wanted to be a
large YouTuber.
professional athlete, but has never played sports really.
Yeah.
He's like,
You
I
could
can
dream,
start
right?
next year, and I'm like, dude, no. What have we talked about? You need to practice these things. Like, you're a little late in the game to be a football player.
I mean, he's 15 now, right?
15,
And he's
16 in December,
Like 6'3".
6'1".
No, he's like 6'3". He's grown.
Yeah. Yeah, he's,
We haven't
'cause I think
measured
he's
him
taller
lately.
than
I measure
Stanley.
him all the time.
And he's built. He's big. So, yes, he could probably pick up football and catch on.
I've heard a couple kids that picked it up in like junior year of high school, and
I've heard of the random one or two that do that.
yeah,
Well, Jonathan's special.
We'll see. Like, didn't that Michael Orr, didn't he never really play sports until high school or something? If
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
The movie said that. I don't know if I believe The Blind Side the movie, but sure.
my beliefs of that movie have been shaken a little bit.
Yes, there's been some
Yeah,
stuff
he
that's
was
come
not
out
real
recently.
happy about that movie.
No.
Yeah.
So
But it was cute. It was a cute
it was a
movie.
cute
Sandra Bullock did
movie.
it well.
Sad real story.
Really? I'm trying not to watch that stuff. It totally like ruins things. But anyhow, so how long would we be on your cruise?
So seven days.
Good.
So
Where else are you going to besides Puerto Rico
And the private
and the
island.
island?
and the private island.
That's only 2 days. You gotta at least have 1 or 2 more stops.
Yeah, so there's one more, and I think it's Dominican Republic.
See, I've never been
There
there
you go.
either.
Yeah,
So
but
that's what-
I've been to Dominican one time, but this is a different place. So
Okay. Yeah, my husband's like, we could even hit the Caribbean, like different islands we haven't been to. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He's always pushing for another cruise. I need to sell more houses. But anyhow, any final words? Anything you want to?
no, I mean, like especially in this market, I mean, you probably have a couple fears. You know, if you're looking to buy, you know, one is the bubble going to burst based
But
on
there is no bubble.
there's no bubble.
You can't have a bubble when there's no supply and still high demand. There cannot be a bubble.
That's exactly right.
And it's a whole different scenario than it was last time. Because the last time we had a bubble, builder reps played a part in that too. So I was competing with builder reps that were telling people, you're going to get a raise next year. I'm like, oh, you worked for the builder? No. Well, how do they know?
Right.
Like, my crystal ball is broken. Like, you could lose your job. You need to prepare for everything.
Yeah, I mean, back in 07, you know,
Yeah.
lending guidelines were much
Way
more
loose.
loose. You know,
Well,
can you
because-
fog a mirror?
Federal law was that everyone should be able to buy a house. So all the guidelines were completely laxed.
Yeah.
And lenders were basically forced to do all these crazy loans, like 225% loan to value and all this other crazy crap.
Yeah.
So we don't have that stuff now. So if you're waiting for the bubble to burst, your bubble may burst before the actual bubble burst.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's stats where like back in the 40s, there was a 3-year period where homes went up like 100 and some percent. and then the bubble didn't burst for like 43 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and in real estate, it's really weird because, like, before COVID hit, like, I remember talking to the sales manager in this office, and I was like, something just feels weird. And, like, we've been going too high for too long. The market usually resets itself every, 7 to 10 years. And before the bubble bursting, we had, like, 12 great years. So it's like something just feels off. And then all of a sudden, COVID hits, like, a few months later.
there you go.
So, because I think that was like November, December, and something just felt weird going into that. And then just the COVID year was just kind of weird too.
Yeah.
So, things are just different.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in
I
this
know.
market.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Intel coming in, we've got
And their
LG,
subsidiaries.
and Facebook, Google.
Yeah, and it's 200,000, which is hard to find, to 450, maybe 500. It's still, the demand is crazy. Above that 500, certain areas, there's still a huge demand too. But less people can afford as much now with
Yeah.
the way things have changed. But still, that lower price point it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm hopeful that we see 5.5 again. But a lot of the experts and stuff that I'm hearing and reading and stuff are thinking that they're going to be more towards like 6.5 second quarter next year. So I'm hopeful for that.
That's basically the same forecast I've been seeing through
Yeah.
like Fannie Mae, National Association of Realtors. It's like mid to high sixes. Sometime
when I
next
started,
year.
it was over 9. So
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
I've been doing this
We're
11
finally
years,
through.
and this is the highest I've seen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We're finally
when
through.
when they got up into the 7s last year and then fell back down, and
The floodgates opened again.
but they didn't fall back down to 4s, 3s. They
Just
were,
3s or 2s.
they were in the
We
high
had 2s
5s,
for a while.
low 6s from the mid 7s.
they stubbed their toe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They didn't fall.
People started buying like crazy again. There was a 6-month period where it was pretty busy, and then they start creeping back up, and people start coming back out. And that's why from what I see, it's a great time to buy if you
'cause
can
you're not coming
refinance
out with all the
because
tons of money again.
You're
like
correct.
Guaranteeing appraisal and stuff like that.
you might be getting closing costs covered right now.
and you're not paying the seller's closing costs on top of your own closing
correct.
costs.
You're like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
gonna offer 10 under list, and I want you to cover my closing costs. Okay, let's do this right now. And
I've
then
been
it's like
seeing that.
a year later,
a lot
if
more.
it's not 8%, it's 6.5. Refinance then, and guess what? You now only paid a year of interest, and you got your closing costs covered and paid less for the house. You came out on top.
Yep.
So
So
Absolutely.
now is the perfect time to buy. So, and people don't understand that it really is a good time to buy. And selling, you're still like selling. You're not getting the crazy prices you were getting. It's more of an even seller's market right now.
Yep.
But when that interest rate goes down, that'll change. So, buyers really need to think now.
Yep. Yeah,
And
and
if you're
it's
selling and buying, you should think about now too.
yep. And it's it's about the data too. Like, hey, if you buy now compared to 6 months to a year from now, yeah, your interest rate might be higher, but if you buy now, your home's going to get the appreciation. You're going to be paying off some of your loan, so you're getting that value that you're missing out. So it's numbers like that I like to run for people and
Yeah.
send out charts. And I guess I'm kind of nerdy like that, but
I was gonna say you're totally an engineer personality.
I was an engineer for the first 3 years at Ohio State, so
Go figure. Go figure. I can use
that sounds
one
about
of
right.
those in my
That
life.
sounds about right.
yep.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you've got a whiteboard. Like, the first clue was the whiteboard.
I like
As soon
my
as you
whiteboard.
said you whiteboard, I'm like, damn, you're like an engineer. Like, you should meet my husband.
Yeah.
I bet you like Star Trek, too.
No,
Oh, Star Wars?
I'm a Star Wars guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Star Wars. Woo!
Yeah, my husband's a Star Wars guy, too, and he's an engineer, but I'm a Star Trek fan. But I was really trying there.
Spock, right?
Yes, I love Spock.
Yeah.
No.
He tried.
Scotty, beam me up. Yeah. I used to be able to do that. I can't quite do it anymore.
Yeah.
But
How
anyhow,
can you not do that?
whatever. I can't because there's a big old ring there. Oh, hey, there we go.
The Vulcan.
Yes, the Vulcan.
I have
And did you know
so many
that
things I'm not
Spock,
going to say right now.
Spock is from Boston and his ears were normally that way?
I don't believe that.
That's what they say in Boston.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what they say. But anyhow, so tell people how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the easiest way is just through my website. It's preapprovalwithttom.com.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I've got
It
two.
rhymes. Phone number 614-787-8786. I thought it was fun when I got it, but it's just more confusing. So preapprovalwithttom.com works.
Yeah, my cell phone's
And then-
very confusing, so I don't really use it.
Yeah. And then, I'm on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, the Facebook. So-
Facebook.
The Facebook.
Or someone calls it the fake
Sounds
book.
better.
The fake book. But anyhow, well, thanks for joining us. That's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And so, as always, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and
Hit that notification bell.
at Shannon Grimm Realtor. Thank you.
Bye.